Okay, so we're going to be doing test number 2. So first thing, make sure you put your name in the class period on your paper. So do that right now. Okay, so number 1, there are 2 parts. It says, the first part says, complete the first table so that the ordered pairs show a function. So here's the first table. In order for it to be a function, what has to happen? No x's can repeat. So here are the x's. So we have A, B, and C. We need to fill in these 2 boxes there, but we cannot put what letters? A, B, or C. Good. So give me a letter, any letter. D?
Z.
And Z. Do we care about the y's at all? No. So you can put whatever letter you want right there. As long as none of these repeat, we're fine. Now the second part says complete the second table so that the ordered pairs are not a function. So what has to happen?
X has to repeat.
X has to repeat. So what x values did they give us?
F, H, and J.
Good. So which one do you want to repeat?
J and F.
Okay, so we'll repeat F and then we'll repeat J. And again, do we care about the y's? No, we don't care about the y's. You can do F 3 times, yeah. So here, let's do L and P. The letters don't have to be the same as what we wrote. You can put any other letters as long as this repeats. So number 2, they give you a set of ordered pairs. Given the set of ordered pairs, they want us to create a table, a map, and a graph. So for a table, what goes first, the X or the Y?
X.
Perfect. Then the Y. So look at your set of ordered pairs. Anytime you have a set of ordered pairs, what do you need to do?
Or from least to greatest.
Before you put them in order from least to greatest. Underline what?
The domain.
Underline the domain. So that's our X values here. So what is the smallest X value that they give us? And then keep going.
3, 7, 8, 11.
-3, 3, 7, 8, 11. Now, with the y's, do I put those in order as well?
No.
No. I have to make sure to do what? Make sure they go together. So -3 has to be with -1.
5,
3 goes with 5,
9,
9,
10, 13.
10, and 13. Good. Now for mapping, what goes first? X or Y?
S.
And then the Y. So here, give me does the order matter for mapping?
No.
No. So give me the X's. We have -3,
3,
3.
7, 8, 11.
Good. Now give me the Y's.
-1, 5, 9, 10, and 13.
Perfect. Because of the order that they are in, I can just draw straight across arrows. Make sure that when you are doing this on your test, that they are paired up with who they are dating. Whoever they're with here, they have to be with down here. Now I'm only going to graph one point. I'm going to graph that very first point, -3, -1. Starting with the origin, because our X is -3, do I go to the left or to the right?
Left.
How many?
3.
So 1, 2, 3, and then our Y is -1, so I go down
1.
1 time. Do not connect these dots. Number 3, are you ready? Okay, so number 3, they're asking us to explain why this is a function or why it is not a function. So when we talk about functions, do we care about the X or the Y? The X.
Not.
Which is our first one. Why is it not?
Because the bicycle.
Good. So we're going to write not a function because bikes repeat. Good. Here they want us to create a graph that is not a function. Now everybody's answer will be a little bit different for this one, and they want us to explain why or why not. Well, in order for a graph to not be a function, what test does it have to fail?
Vertical line test.
Perfect. The vertical line test. So I'm going to write off to the side, does not pass the vertical line test. I'm just going to abbreviate that, VLT. What does that mean, though? What is the vertical line test?
Oh, it's like, if there's 2 dots on one line.
So that means there must be, so must have 2 or more parts touching vertical line. So anywhere on your graph you can make it continuous or you can make it a discrete graph. Just make sure if you were to draw a vertical line, it touches it at least 2 times. So you can make it squiggly, you can make it dots, however you want to do this. When you're done, go ahead and flip your page. Number 5. This one says, Whitewater Rental charges $15 to launch a canoe in the Guadalupe River, plus $5 per hour. What is Y, the cost of renting a canoe for X hours? So circling your numbers, boxing in your math words, and underlining the question. So our total, Y, the cost, is going to be equal to what? What's the first number?
15.
And then it says to do what to that?
Add 5.
Add 5. What does per mean?
Multiply.
Multiply per hour, but what are we using for hours?
X.
Good, so 5x. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. There we go. Now for process, they want us to show our work how we're going to get the cost. So for 1 hour, how much would it cost? $20. So how'd you get that?
15 plus 5.
15 plus 5. But how many hours?
1.
1. So we multiply 5 times 1, which is just 5. So we're going to keep this process, but instead of 1, the next time we're going to have a what? Perfect. And then keep going. We're going to do that. We're just going to fill out that process part first. There you go. So now that you have the process filled out, let's fill in the cost. So for 1 hour, it's $20. For 2,
25.
for 3,
30.
for 4,
35.
and for 5,
40.
Good. Let's go straight to the mapping first, and then we'll do the graph last. So I'm going to move this up just a little bit. So for mapping, that's ovals. What goes in the first one?
X.
Good. What are the x's?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. Then 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. Then make sure you connect it. 2 goes with 25, 3 goes with 30, based off of our table. Like that. Now for the graph, I'm only going to plot 1 point. I'm not going to plot them all. You can fill in the rest. So for 1 hour, don't forget to label your axis. Hour and cost is the Y. Remember, time is always going to be independent, which is X. Alright, so for 1 hour, we paid $20. So there's that one. Make sure, again, you do not connect the dots. Number 6. Which of the following does not represent y as a function of x? So this whole thing, y is a function of x, they're talking about functions. So do they want a function or not a function?
Not a function.
Not a function. So look at A. We have 1, 3, 4, and 5. Is that a function?
Yes.
Yes. Look at C. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Yes, that's a function.
Yes, that's a function. None of these numbers are repeating. Here, if I was to use my pen as a vertical line, it's only touching one point at a time on this graph. These arrows are angling, so it's not going to go straight up or down. So that's a function. But what about D?
Not a function.
Not a function at 2 of the vertical points. So D is our answer. Number 7. The function g of x is equal to a set of ordered pairs 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8, and can be represented in several ways. Which is the correct representation of the function g of x? So first, we have a set of ordered pairs. What should I underline? The domain, which is our x. So go ahead and underline that. Now, we said those are the domain. Those are our x values. So looking at A, they have the first point at 2, 1. Is that what we have here? No, we have it backwards. We have 1, 2. So that's not correct. If we look at C, it has 2, 4, 6, 8 in the first oval. But the first oval should be what?
The x values.
The x values. So that is not correct. It's backwards. Now, both B and D have wording. B says y is 2 times x, and x is a number less than 5. Well, let's look at our x's. Are all those numbers less than 5? Yes. So far that looks like a good answer. And if we were to multiply 1 times 2, we get 2. 2 times 2, we get 4. 3 times 2, 6. 4 times 2, 8. So that looks good. But let's look at D real quick. D says y is equal to 2x, and the range, what does range mean? The y values, is 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that true? No, it's not true. That's our x values, our domain. So the correct answer is B. So number 8 goes back to what we did yesterday, those word problems of domain and range. Eddie is making a graph to determine how many buses he will need or will be needed to transport all seniors on a field trip. He records the number of students on the x-axis, so number of students is the x, and the number of buses on the y-axis. What is a reasonable range? So what do we know about range?
The y.
It's the y. And in this word problem, is y the number of students or the number of buses? The number of buses. Now, let's think about this. Is it possible to order a negative amount of buses?
No.
No. So we can automatically cross out A and B because it makes no sense to do that. Now we're left with C and D. C says that forever y will always equal 0, meaning they will never order buses for this field trip. Meaning, what are the seniors going to have to do? Drive themselves or walk. But we don't want that to happen, so the correct answer is D. Both 9 and 10, we can go ahead and fill in with your inequalities and the variables. Alright, so number 9, domain. How do we find domain?
That's right.
Perfect. So how far left is this going to go? Is it 6 or is it 7? So negative 6. And what else do you notice about that?
It's closed.
It's closed. So
You underline it.
perfect. Go ahead and underline that. How far right does it go?
And positive 3.
A positive 3. Does that need to be underlined?
No.
No, because it's open. Our range goes from bottom to top. So that is from what? Yeah.
5.
5 is where it's going to end. What's the smallest?
1.
Good. Number 10. Same thing, but now we have an arrow. What do arrows mean? Infinity. Good. How far left is this graph going to go? Negative infinity. How far right is it going to go? Let's count.
7.
Good. When you're counting, one thing I did notice on the homework for a lot of the classes is that people are counting the origin as 1. That's 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure you're counting correctly. Now your range, how far down did it get? How far down did it get? 3. Since it's going down, it's negative 3. And how far up is it going to get? Positive infinity. So that's your answer. Number 11. They're asking us for the domain. What is domain? X or Y? X. So we know domain goes from far left to far right. So that goes from where to where?
Negative 4 and positive 4.
Good. And the only one that has 4s is H. Go ahead and flip it over. Number 12. The graph below shows the outside temperatures recorded every hour for a 24-hour period in Larry's hometown. What is the range? So range, X or Y?
Y.
Good. What is the Y-axis talking about? The temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. So what two answers can we cross out automatically? Perfect. So now we just have to look. What is the lowest point? And what's the highest point? So what is our correct answer? It is A. Number 13. What is the domain of the function shown on the graph below? So looking at here, domain, that's our X. So take each point and just go straight up. What numbers do we hit on the X-axis? Positive 1, 2, 4, and 5. So what answer is that? Good. Number 14. Richard and his friends sell cookies for a school fundraiser. The table shows the profit they earn selling various numbers of cookies. What is the range of the function that relates the profit earned to the number of cookies sold? So they're asking us for the range, which is Y. What numbers are those?
1, 2, 3, 4.
So our answer is
C.
Good. Last page. Number 15, they want to know how much the graph below models the amount Becky charges for pet sitting. How much would she charge for 6 days of pet sitting? Well, does our graph go to 6? No.
$30.
$1 is, or 1 day is
5,
2,
10,
and they keep going. It's going by what?
3, 5,
It's going by 5. So what is our answer?
30.
5,
30.
$30 for 6 days. And how many days would Becky pet sit for if she was only paid $20? We'll find 20 on the cost,
4 days.
hit it, and then go straight down. It's 4 days. So it's about knowing where to go on the x or y axis. For 16, they want us to make a graph. And these are the conditions. Alice walked at a constant speed from her house to the park in 5 minutes. Well, here's minutes at the bottom. Here's distance from home. So 0, 0, that is at home times 0. If we're going to walk away, are we going to be increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Increasing. So let's have her increase. We'll say that she went 2 blocks for 5 minutes. Make sure you don't go past that 5. Then Alice stopped and rested at the park for 10 minutes. So here's 5 minutes, here's 10 minutes. So now we're at 15 minutes total. The last part is she walked at a constant speed back to her home in 5 minutes. So what's the line going to do now? It's going to be decreasing. Good. And we're going to stop at 20. Good. Last 2 problems. Janelle's cell phone company charges a monthly fixed rate for the first 1,000 minutes. So how should our graph be? It should be flat because she's not going to pay more, she's not going to pay less. So we can cross out C and A. After that 1,000 minutes, she is then charged for each additional minute. So what should the line do now? Increase. So it's D because it's increasing. Last problem, number 18. The graph below shows the relationship between the distance traveled by a car and time. What do the 2 horizontal segments of the graph represent? So what's going on here? It's increasing and then it's constant. It's increasing and then it's constant. But what's going on? Is the car driving at a decreasing speed? No. You're saying which one?
B.
D.
Oh, yeah.
Because now the car has come to a complete stop, so he's not traveling any further. Staying that same, he's staying at that same spot. Alright, so turn this in. It is a quiz grade easy 100. Tomorrow when you take your test.